Welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Emid Young James, coming to you live from the capital city of Kwai State. Let's take a look at the headline. President Tinubu meets China's Foreign Affairs Minister in Abuja. Federal lawmakers seek more funding for 2024 capital projects. Plus, Trump plans Governor Newsom for California wildfires. Details of these stories and more in a moment. We begin the news this hour with Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has met with the Chinese Minister of Foreign Affairs, Wang Yi, at the presidential villa, Abuja. Yi, a member of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, is in Nigeria on a two-day working visit. The president is expected to discuss the Memorandum of Understanding signed during the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation in China. The economy, politics and oil and gas sectors are among the issues to be discussed at the meeting. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, and Yi are also expected to brief the press after the meeting. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has urged the military to proactively take the war against insurgency to the camps of bandits and terrorists. He gave the charge following the recent attack on the military base in Dambo, Borno State, where some soldiers lost their lives. Tinubu particularly emphasized that the fight should be focused in the northwest, where these criminals continue to threaten the lives and homes of innocent villagers. He expressed his profound sympathy to the military authorities following the loss of 6 brave soldiers during a dawn terrorist attack on January 4, 2025. His condolence message was contained in a statement today by Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, where the president sympathized with the families of the fallen soldiers whose sacrifice in defending the nation will forever be honored and remembered. Away from that, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to fulfilling its obligations to the payment of full compensation to communities displaced as a result of the construction of a 700-megawatt hydroelectric power project in Zungeru, Niger State. The government, however, emphasized the need for genuine identity of the affected communities, as over 300 communities have come out to lay claims for compensations and resettlement after the initial agreed figure. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, met the position of the federal government known yesterday when he met with the Compensation and Resettlement Committee of the Zungeru Power Plant in his office in Abuja. This was made known in a press statement from the ministry. Meanwhile, the federal government says it is deepening partnerships with global lenders and financiers to support Nigeria's domestic airlines growth and fleet renewal. Festus Kayamo, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, made this known today in a telephone interview with newsmen. According to the minister, the federal government is ready to improve its stakeholders' engagement and prioritize a thriving aviation ecosystem that is globally competitive, inclusive, and resilient. Kayamo said he would soon lead a team from the aviation sector in Nigeria to attend the Boeing Lancers Forum in Dublin, Ireland, from January 12 to January 15 as part of efforts to achieve the feat. From the legislature, the federal lawmakers have canvassed the release of more funds for capital projects in last year's budget. They decried the low level of fund releases for capital projects to ministries, departments and agencies. According to them, the executive should take advantage of the extension of the 2024 budget till July 30 to make more funds available to execute capital projects. Members of the Joint Senate and House of Representative Committees of Appropriation met the position known yesterday during an interactive meeting with ministers and top government officials in charge of the economy. The interaction is a prelude to the Defense of Budget 2025 estimate by MDAS due to start next week. In another development, the U.S. mission in Nigeria says it will close its operation today to honor former President Jimmy Carter. The U.S. mission stated this in a post on its official handle X today. Carter, who died on December 29 at the age of 100, served a single term from 1977 to 1981 and was widely praised for his post-presidential humanitarian efforts, for which he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. His body will lie in state at the Capitol until Thursday for members of the public to pay their respect to a man who was penned for his political instinct while in office, but redefined what a post-presidency could look like. Meanwhile, a state funeral service is to be held today at the National Cathedral, an Episcopal church in Washington that also hosted funerals for former President Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, and George H. W. Washington. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has decorated newly promoted officers of the Nigerian Police Force, charging them to continue in the diligent services to the country. The governor performed the decoration ceremony at Government House, Uyo. Speaking shortly after the exercise, the governor congratulated them for the height attained, saying that their elevation was an indication of their commitment and dedication to duty. The governor appreciated the officers for their service to the Akwa Ibom State government and for serving the country with dedication and commitment, urging them to continue in the patriotic service. Earlier in his remark, the State Commissioner of Police, CP Baba Muhammad Azare, commended the governor for creating time to honor his security aides and decorating them with their new official ranks, and urged them to double their efforts in service to their fatherland. Government House correspondent Jane Wa reports that those decorated were the Superintendents of Police, Yusefu Umar, Udeme Udo, Ukwong Fonobong, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Katari John, Salas John, Usman Aliyu, Adeyemi Oluwafemi, Efyong Edem, Christopher Bassi, and the fourth Public Relations Officer, Timfon John. Moving now to Africa, where Mozambique's main opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, returned from exile today as security forces fired tear gas at hundreds of his supporters who gathered near the main international airport to welcome him home. Mondlane was seen walking off a plane at Mavellan International Airport in the capital, Maputo. He had left the country in October following a disputed election that has sparked months of violent protests and thrown the country into turmoil. Mondlane said he left Mozambique fearing for his life after two senior members of his opposition party were reportedly killed in their car by unknown gunmen in a late-night shooting in the aftermath of the election. Still in Africa, the President of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola, has held high-level talks in Cairo, focusing on strengthening the relationship between the European Union and Egypt. During her visit, Metsola met with Egypt's parliamentary leaders, including the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Hanafi El Gajiba, and the President of the Senate, Abdel Waber Abdel Razak. Key topics on the agenda included migration management, the EU's microfinancial assistance to Egypt, and the broader geopolitical landscape affecting both regions. Metsola's visit reflects the EU's strategic interest in Egypt as a critical player in regional stability and as a partner in addressing pressing issues such as migration and economic cooperation. On the foreign scene, President-elect Donald Trump has blamed President Joe Biden and California Governor Gavin Newsom for the wildfires raging in Los Angeles that have killed at least 5 people and forced tens of thousands to evacuate their homes. According to Trump, Governor Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rains and snow from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. Trump added that Newsom wanted to protect the fish called smelt by giving it less water. He demanded that the governor allow beautiful, clean fresh water to flow into California.
Tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him when he was governor. We worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem, because you're talking.
Still on the foreign scene, a Russian strike on the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia killed no fewer than 13 people on Wednesday. Ukrainian officials said the strike was one of the deadliest single air attacks in weeks during the 3-year war. Recall that Moscow has wrapped up its strikes on Ukraine since the onset of winter, casting some of the attacks as retaliatory for Kiev firing on Russia's territory with Western-supplied weapons. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described Wednesday's bombardment as cruel, calling for the world to rally around Ukraine and against Russia to bring about a lasting peace. Still to come in the news. Wolves signed Reims defender Agabado for 16 million euros. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment.
Broadening your horizon is what every living being not only genuinely desires, but heartily pursues and intentionally invests in. For in the gathering of men, only those whose minds are in tune with the dynamics of the past, present, and future innovations, inventions, politics, and governance are respected. We are Spectrum Television, and broadening your horizon is our obsession. Rescan your decoder now to connect Spectrum Television on the frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250. That is frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250. Polarization horizontal, and join our online community at spectrumtvlive.ng. For further inquiries, please call 0704 158 5642 or 0704 541 7707. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now let's go over to the rest of the stories. On our business news, the China Development Bank, CDB, has granted a loan of 245 million euros for the construction of Kano-Kaduna Railway project in Nigeria. A statement by the bank said the move was to provide financial support for the smooth progress of the project. According to report, the Kano-Kaduna Railway, with a total length of 203 kilometers, is a standard gauge railway and once completed will provide direct rail connectivity between Kano and Abuja. Still in business, the Naira yesterday depreciated to 1,655 Naira per dollar in the parallel market from 1,650 Naira per dollar on Tuesday. Likewise, the Naira depreciated to 1,545 Naira per dollar in the official foreign exchange market. Data published by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, showed that the exchange rate for the Nigerian foreign exchange market rose to 1,545 Naira per dollar from 1,535 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, indicating 7 Naira depreciation for the Naira. Consequently, the margin between the parallel market and NAFEM rate narrowed to 110 Naira per dollar from 112 Naira per dollar on Tuesday. On a health story, patients in the United Kingdom have been urged to attend emergency departments alone as National Health Service hospitals grappled with high demand amid rising flu cases. Some hospitals have also restricted visitors numbers, while others are encouraging people to wear surgical masks to limit the spread of viruses. Several NHS trusts declared critical incidents due to exceptionally high demands in emergency departments, with a patient at one hospital forced to wait 50 hours to be admitted to a ward. According to reports, nearly 5,000 hospital beds in England are occupied by patients with flus. York and Scarborough's hospitals asked for the public support by asking patients to seek medical attention alone where possible. Still in health, the National Emergency Management Agency, Ekiti Operational Office, has distributed relief materials to flood-affected persons in some parts of Ondo State. NEMA distributed the relief materials under the federal government special intervention for 2024 to flood victims in Akoko Northeast and Akoko Northwest federal constituency of Ondo State. The Director General of NEMA, Zubadi Umar, represented by the Head of Relief Unit, Gina Ayodeji, NEMA Ekiti Operation Office, during the distribution commiserated with the affected communities. Umar reaffirmed the agency's commitment to its mandate of providing timely and effective disaster response. To sports news now, where Wolves have completed the £16.6 million signing of defender Emmanuel Agbado from Reims. The 27-year-old centre-back has signed a 4.5-year deal at Malik's with an option of an extra 12 months and becomes Victor Perari's first signing at the club. It also ends Wolves' interest in Lens defender Kevin Danso as the club move for Agbado over the Austria international. Selling Sports, West Ham United have announced Graham Potter as their new manager following the departure of Julian Lopetegui earlier this week. The 49-year-old former Brighton and Chelsea boss has signed a 2.5-year contract with the club. Potter takes charge with Hammers sitting 14th in the Premier League, 7 points clear of the relegation zone after securing just 6 league wins this season. Potter also emphasized his alignment with the club's short-term need and long-term vision, stating they were on the same wavelength in terms of what is needed in a short term and then how they want to move the club forward in a medium to long term. On entertainment news, Afrobeat singer, popularly known as Spyro, has revealed that he spends over 15 million naira annually on beggars. The Who Is Your Guy crooner disclosed this while lamenting about the constant pressure he faces to assist fans. He revealed that people come to him for assistance both online and offline without representing the assistance. Despite his constant acts of kindness, Spyro recalled a bitter experience where a stranger insulted him simply because he could not give money at that moment. Lastly, in the news at this hour, American singer Chloe Bailey has spoken about her recent visit to Nigeria and a public outing with Burna Boy, which sparked relationship speculations. Recall that Burna Boy and Cleo failed relationship rumors after they were recently spotted holding hands while leaving a club in Lagos last December. Reflecting on her visit to Nigeria in a recent interview with The Breakfast Club, Bailey said she had the best time in West African country. And that's all we have for you at this hour. Do ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. I am Emedion James, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, and you'll be watching Spectrum News at 4. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.